Imagine creating artwork so massive it can only be fully appreciated from hundreds of feet in the air, artwork so precise and enduring that it would remain visible for over 2,000 years. Now imagine doing this without aircraft, without satellite imagery, without any way to see your creation from above. This is exactly what an ancient civilization accomplished here in the arid desert of southern Peru. Hundreds of perfectly straight lines, spirals, and over 70 massive animal and plant figures, some stretching more than 1,200 feet across, all etched into the earth with stunning precision. Welcome back to the Story Weaver channel. Today we're exploring one of archaeology's most enduring enigmas, the Nazca Lines. These mysterious geoglyphs have puzzled experts for nearly a century, and recent discoveries are adding new dimensions to this ancient mystery. Before we take to the skies to unravel this puzzle, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our weekly journeys into history's greatest mysteries. And if you're as fascinated by these ancient wonders as I am, smash that like button. It really helps the channel reach more history enthusiasts. The Nazca Lines are etched into a high, arid plateau stretching between the towns of Nazca and Palpa in southern Peru. This region receives less than an inch of rainfall annually and experiences minimal wind, creating perfect conditions for preserving these delicate ground drawings for millennia. While local people always knew about these markings, the lines remained largely unnoticed by the outside world until the 1920s, when Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Zespe spotted them while hiking through nearby foothills. But it wasn't until the advent of commercial flight in the 1930s that people could truly appreciate their scale and complexity. Passengers flying between Lima and Arequipa were astonished to see massive figures and geometric patterns emerging from what looked like random desert scratches. The most dedicated early researcher was German mathematician Maria Reiche, who devoted over 5 decades of her life to studying, measuring and preserving the Nazca Lines. Often called the Lady of the Lines, Reiche lived in the desert, meticulously cataloguing the geoglyphs and protecting them from damage. The lines were created by the Nazca civilization, which flourished in this region between 200 BCE and 600 CE. At their peak, the Nazca people created extraordinary pottery, developed sophisticated irrigation systems, and clearly possessed advanced knowledge of geometry and spatial planning. But how were the lines actually created? The technique was surprisingly simple, yet ingenious. The desert surface is covered with dark, oxidized stones. By removing this top layer, the ancient artists exposed the lighter-colored soil beneath, creating visible lines and figures that have endured for millennia thanks to the region's extremely stable climate. What's remarkable is not just the technical achievement, but the commitment to a vision that most of the creators would never see in its entirety. This suggests a profound cultural motivation that transcended individual experience. The Nazca Lines can be divided into 3 main types: straight lines and geometric shapes, animal and plant figures known as biomorphs, and more recently, discovered complex designs that combine elements of both. Some of the straight lines run for miles across the desert, maintaining remarkable precision despite the uneven terrain. There are also triangles, rectangles and spirals, some covering vast areas of the plateau. But it's the biomorphs that capture most people's imagination. These include a 310-foot hummingbird with a perfectly proportioned beak, a 150-foot spider with articulated legs, a 360-foot monkey with a spiral tail, and a massive 935-foot pelican longer than 3 football fields. The level of artistic sophistication is extraordinary. The monkey figure includes a hand with 9 fingers, possibly representing the 9 months of the Nazca's dry season. The spider depicts a rare species that only emerges at night, showing keen biological observation. Archaeological dating reveals that the lines were created over an extended period. The simpler geometric designs are the oldest, dating to around 500 BCE, while the animal figures came later, around 200 BCE to 600 CE. And remarkably, we're still finding new geoglyphs today. Between 2016 and 2023, researchers using drone imaging and AI-assisted analysis identified over 350 previously unknown figures, including humanoid shapes, miniature designs on hillsides, and complex compositions that blend multiple figures. This feline figure was only discovered in 2020 during maintenance work on a viewing platform. Measuring about 120 feet long and etched on a steep hillside, it had remained hidden in plain sight for centuries, making us wonder how many more undiscovered wonders might still be waiting to be found. So why did the Nazca people create these enormous geoglyphs? Over the decades, researchers have proposed numerous theories, ranging from the scientific to the sensational. Maria Reicher believed the lines functioned primarily as an astronomical calendar. She documented alignments between certain lines and the positions of the sun, moon and stars at significant times of the year, suggesting they helped the Nazca track seasons for agricultural purposes. Anthropologist Johann Reinhard proposed a connection to water, the most precious resource in this arid region. Many of the lines connect to sources of underground water, and some figures like the spider and hummingbird are associated with rain in Andean mythology. More recent archaeological evidence supports the ritual theory. The lines may have been ceremonial pathways meant to be walked as religious processions. Broken pottery found along the lines suggests ritual activity, and some figures appear to face sacred mountains in the landscape. Cultural astronomer Anthony Aveni suggests a synthesis, that the lines represented a cosmological map connecting celestial observation, water sources, and sacred landscape features into an integrated ritual system that reinforced Nazca cultural beliefs. Of course, I should mention the more sensational theories. In the 1960s, author Erich von Daniken famously suggested the lines were landing strips for alien spacecraft. While this captured public imagination, it disregards the sophisticated capabilities of ancient cultures and the well-documented archaeological context of the Nazca civilization. What's fascinating is how the Nazca lines reveal the complex relationship between humans and landscape. These weren't just drawings, they transformed the entire desert into a canvas for expressing cosmic relationships and cultural beliefs, creating a sacred geography that connected earth and sky. In recent years, new technologies have revolutionized our understanding of the Nazca lines, revealing previously unknown aspects and even completely new figures. High-resolution satellite imaging has allowed archaeologists to survey vast areas quickly, identifying subtle patterns invisible from ground level. Between 2016 and 2018, Japanese researchers using this technology discovered over 140 new geoglyphs, including remarkable humanoid figures. Drones equipped with specialized cameras have been even more transformative. Flying at lower altitudes than planes or satellites, they can capture incredibly detailed images from multiple angles, allowing for three-dimensional modeling of the lines and their relationship to the landscape. Perhaps most exciting is the application of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Algorithms trained to detect the subtle color and texture differences of the geoglyphs have identified hundreds of previously overlooked lines and figures, some measuring just a few feet across, miniature versions of the larger designs. Some of the most significant recent discoveries include a 2019 finding of over 140 new geoglyphs on hillsides rather than the desert floor, a 2020 discovery of a 120-foot cat figure on a steep slope, and 2023 revelations of complex compositions that blend multiple animal forms. LiDAR technology, which uses laser pulses to create detailed topographical maps, has revealed how precisely the Nazca incorporated natural landscape features into their designs, suggesting they possessed sophisticated knowledge of terrain and perspective. These discoveries aren't just adding to the catalogue of known figures, they're fundamentally changing our understanding of the Nazca Lines as a cultural phenomenon that evolved over centuries, with different generations adding new elements and techniques to this massive artistic and religious landscape. Despite surviving for 2 millennia, the Nazca Lines face unprecedented threats in the modern era. These delicate geoglyphs are surprisingly fragile. Simply walking across them can leave footprints that last for decades. In 2014, environmental activists from Greenpeace caused significant damage to the area around the hummingbird figure during a publicity stunt, highlighting how vulnerable these ancient wonders are. Urban expansion, mining, and infrastructure development pose ongoing threats. The Pan American Highway cuts directly through some of the lines, and illegal mining operations have damaged others. Climate change presents perhaps the most serious long-term threat. As weather patterns shift, this historically arid region has experienced unusual rainfall events. In 2019, unexpected heavy rains caused flooding that damaged several figures, washing away the delicate surface designs. Fortunately, conservation efforts are expanding. The lines have been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1994, and Peruvian authorities have increased protective measures, including restricted flight paths, limited access viewing platforms, and drone surveillance to monitor for vandalism. The preservation of the Nazca Lines represents one of archaeology's greatest challenges: how to balance public access and appreciation with the need to protect these irreplaceable cultural treasures for future generations. The Nazca Lines represent one of humanity's most ambitious attempts to connect with forces beyond ordinary experience, whether astronomical, environmental, or spiritual. Created by people who could never see their work in its entirety, these geoglyphs speak to a profound cultural vision that transcended individual lifetimes. The Nazca transformed an entire landscape into a sacred canvas, creating art not primarily for human eyes, but perhaps for the gods they believed watched from above. As technology continues to reveal new aspects of this ancient wonder, we're reminded that archaeological mysteries are never truly solved. They simply evolve as our understanding deepens and new questions emerge. What do you think motivated the Nazca people to create these enormous designs? Was it religious devotion, astronomical knowledge, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you found this exploration into Peru's ancient mystery fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories to light. Next week, we'll be delving into the radioactive alien chambers under Egypt's pyramids, one of Egypt's most controversial mysteries that mainstream archaeology doesn't want to address. Until then, remember that sometimes the greatest mysteries aren't hidden, they're just waiting to be seen from a different perspective. Thanks for watching.